everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Leandra the TBR0 and it is T-minus 7 hours until the Gala of Peace begins. A 48-hour mini readathon within the scope of Realmathon. The goal is to read as many short books as possible. I have a giant pile of possibilities and the ones I'm holding are only about half of it. So my plan is to organize those reads, go for a walk, try to calm myself down, get ready, kind of have a bit of a rocky moment, and then we'll be ready to go and hopefully I can actually be prepared for this and do my ravens proud. So yeah, without further ado, let's start this 48-hour vlog. It is just past 6 p.m. here, meaning in about an hour, Cassidy is going to start kickoff sprints for the Gala of Peace, and I have to miss them at least the first hour. We'll see if I can join the comments after the fact, but what I really have as my main event tonight is trivia night on Brittany's channel, because Nell and I are obviously going to be asking Kelsey and Brittany American trivia questions. We'll see how good they are, and what's hilarious about it is Nell and I checked in with each other earlier today, and we were like, we're just hosting it, right? They're not going to turn around and ask us questions, right? And we didn't have an answer. We're pretty sure that we're just hosting it. But you know what? If we end up being asked questions about Canada as well, that'll be hilarious because we won't know a dang thing. But what I can say is that I've been super productive today since I ended up checking in with you. No, I didn't actually go on a walk. I had the plan and then I just completely nixed it because I realized I had so many other things on my plate, but I did end up getting some admin stuff done, the trivia questions that I had to prepare for tonight, but also some admin things surrounding Not Reading for Content, the podcast, and I'll have that linked below. This month we are reading The Games Gods Play, and we just ended up posting live today our first reactions to the first third of the book, so if you're interested, maybe check that out. But I also made it to a third of the way through Green Teeth by Molly O'Neill. Honestly, so many of you are going to want to add this to your TBR because it is right up your alley if you love Emily Wilde, light academia, cozy fantasy, monsters that have this kind of morally gray attitude where they're neither good or bad, but they're very just endearing and it's so funny. It also balances some really dark scenes, some serious emotional issues as well, and I'm so impressed. I am so impressed. This has also been compared to T. Kingfisher in narrative style. I am not an expert. I only read one book by T. Kingfisher in the last month, and so I can't confirm or deny that, but my friend who I'm reading this with, T. Kingfisher is one of her favorite authors of all time. She's almost read all of her canon, and she said that this is a pretty honest parallel, which is great to see, because a lot of times in marketing these days, really popular authors, their names get slapped onto a title saying, this is for fans of so-and-so and so-and-so, and then everyone gets hyped, everyone has high expectations, and then when they finally read the book, if the comparison isn't as honest as it should be, everyone loses. The reader, the author, the book, the characters. And so I'm really glad to know that to compare Green Teeth to T. Kingfisher, that's actually a really great way to get an audience that the book deserves. And this ends up following Jenny Greenteeth. She is a lake monster. She's very proud of her lake. She keeps it very tidy. And, you know, if a body falls into her lake once in a while, she eats it. No big deal. What a great life for her. However, on the opening pages, in the opening chapter of this book, it's not just any human who falls into her lake, it's a witch. And they end up having this unexpected friendship. It's rocky at first, I'm not gonna lie, it's very rocky, but they bond over their individual sense of loneliness for two different reasons. Both of them are isolated in their world. For Jenny Greenteeth, it's more physical, whereas the witch has been cast out of her community. She no longer knows how her husband or her children are doing because she's now isolated and been rejected. I mean, the community thought they killed her by throwing her into the lake. So there's just a lot going on there. And they've realized that this outside entity, an evil, dark type of presence, has found its way into the village. And now everyone is at risk. And it's up to Jenny Greenteeth, our lake monster, and her new friend, the witch Temperance, as well as a few other characters, to find out how to overcome this evil that has arrived. And I love the tone. Like I said, it's so funny, and it's also quite dark. There have been moments where I've been chilled by the way things are described. It's also had some really interesting comparisons to like low fae, high fae, the fairy courts. It's just a very magical, rich world. And I'm in love. I love it so much. It's so fun. And I can't wait to see where this narrative goes. So for cozy fantasy lovers out there, you should probably pick this up. For me, it's reminding me of Emily Wilde. And for my friend, it's reminding her of Nettle and Bone. So if either or both of those titles are getting you excited, then check out Greenteeth. But like I said, I'll try to update you when I finish the title just to confirm everything. But it's so good. It's so good. But evening is fast approaching. In less than an hour, the Gala of Peace begins. So my brain and focus will be veering in that direction. At the same time, Trivia Night is also in less than an hour, and I'm so excited. Nell and I have been sharing voice messages back and forth, anticipating the questions that we're going to ask our Canadian friends, and Kelsey and Brittany seem really excited about it as well. I'll try to add some B-roll so that you can see how fun it is, but if you really want to watch the full Trivia Night and maybe play along with us, I'll also have the live linked below, because obviously this video is going to be posted afterwards. You know what's going on. But I'm feeling really good, and now I'm just kind of wasting time as I wait for Readathon's gala to actually begin and I can start reading short books. I will probably try to get 1 or 2 books in tonight, just so I feel as though I've been productive this Friday and that I've done something for Team Raven. That means it's probably going to be a manga and maybe a graphic novel. I could start an audiobook. A novella that I've really been wanting to read this weekend is Rolling in the Deep by Mira Grant. We'll cross our fingers. It is the prequel to Into the Drowning Deep, which I really loved. And so we'll see. We'll see if it ends up being on the agenda, but I'll definitely try to finish some graphic novels or like a manga tonight, but I'm going to mood read. I think that's my strategy, and that will probably help me complete the most books this weekend if I just follow my mood. So yeah, sadly, I won't be there for kickoff sprints, but I hope you guys have the best time, and I'll try to update you either tonight or tomorrow morning. So yay!
Name that film. This 2004 American romantic movie featured 2 Canadians in the leading roles.
Ooh, Kelsey.
Am I getting no other, any, that's the only
That's it.
I didn't even know Shania Twain was Canadian.
She is. But Avril Lavigne is also out.
She's Canadian?
Yeah.
Yeah. And isn't she married to the guy from Nickelback who's also Canadian?
No, they divorced. Yeah.
Oh,
They were married.
let's keep it light. Let's move on. What I want you to do is find the American or Americans.
The way that both of them looked up.
At the same time, I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Happy day 2 of Readathon's Gala of Peace. I have not been very productive. I am really hurting Team Raven, I think, because I've been doing my best to read, but I've just been getting distracted by other downtime tasks, other adulting things. It's a whole thing. Last night, I only ended up getting 1 book done, and that was A Man and His Cat Volume 1, and it is just so cute. I can't. Honestly, I need all of the books in this series right now. You're all right. All of those people who ended up recommending this specific cat manga to me, saying, why haven't you read this one yet? You're right. I'm obsessed. It's so freaking good. And you know who I have to thank for this is actually Jess, this Kiwi. She sent this to me off my wish list for my birthday, and it was so sweet of her, and it took me months to finally read it, but obviously it's totally worth it. There's so many cute little moments. I can't. Oh gosh. For cat lovers, for animal lovers, for honestly anyone who understands what it means to feel lonely, whether you've lost loved ones, whether you simply live in an isolated state because of work, because of where you live, maybe you've recently moved, you don't know as many people in your area, and also understand the feeling of having, you know, adopted a cat, adopted a pet, a dog, whatever the case is, and realizing that they are dependent on you, not only for shelter and for food, but for affection, to feel safe and loved. And the fact that these two beings complete each other and just adore each other through and through, it is so heartwarming. I cannot even express it. Like the first couple panels, I was tearing up because it was so cute. So anyways, highly recommend, 5 stars from me. And then today I have been hosting sprints. Honestly, all of us have been hosting sprints because it's a 48-hour readathon, as you do. But I have also been off the walls. Like, I don't know what got into me, but I was crazy during our sprints, and we're currently on our last one. So fortunately, now I can like calm down and relax. I ended up declaring my love for Monica. Monica. I always have the urge to flirt with Monica in the Discord, and I don't know why. Just gives me I realized it last night. I sent her like this GIF, and I was like, something's going on.
I was not expecting you to say that.
But I also was being productive by reading as well, not just productive in my love life. So when it comes to an audiobook that I just finished, Rolling in the Deep by Myra Grant, this is the prequel to Into the Drowning Deep, and as expected, it is so good. Another 5 stars. Is this going to be a weekend of just 5 stars? I don't think so, because the book I'm currently reading doesn't feel like a 5-star yet, but I am really enjoying it. But with Rolling in the Deep, I think that you could technically read this first. It's probably a bit more fun because you're in the know of what's to come if you were to have read Into the Drowning Deep first. And what I'm so impressed by is that these two works are so different in length. Into the Drowning Deep is a very chonky horror that is about, I think, 17 hours on audio. It's over 400 pages, nearly 500, if I'm remembering correctly. And then we have Rolling in the Deep, which is a 3-hour audiobook. It's a novella, and basically it's about killer mermaids. And there's this whole element of like scientific exploration into this, and it's very chilling and isolated setting because you're on a boat in the middle of the ocean, and you can just feel that these characters are literally in too deep. Like, they aren't going to survive. There is a lot of like horrible deaths. It's amazing. I loved it. So yeah, I'm having a really great weekend so far. And now what I've been working on, I probably won't finish it during my sprints. I might have to do it during Tori's while I watch those. But I have the Ice Guy and the Cool Girl, Brandon, on Team Raven. Recently read, I think, all of the first 3 volumes, and I remembered that I had this at my library. We don't have a great manga selection, but we have a lot of the big titles, and so I really have been actually enjoying this one too. What this series entails is a very sweet workplace romance between the two on the cover. They're so sweet, I can't actually, it's almost like giving me cavities, to be completely honest. They're blushing, they're bashful, it's honestly such a great time, and they're so cute. But also, there is one complication. This because this guy right here, he is the descendant of a snow spirit, and so his emotions very much dictate the weather around them. So if he's getting flustered, if he's getting very focused, suddenly there's a blizzard in the office, and if he starts to blush or get too hot because of something that his love interest has said, he will actually melt. And it's just been so sweet how she's been supporting him, thinking of him, and I find them to be very cute. So if you need a very sweet romance, then this might be the manga for you. But as you can see, I'm only about halfway through this first volume, and I'm really enjoying it. It's super cute. It's a great palate cleanser as well, where you can just kind of relax and enjoy these characters' interactions with each other. There's a lot of humorous moments too, and I probably will finish this in like another half an hour, and then I have to figure out what I'm gonna read next. I definitely don't want to burn out, even though I'm just getting started with my reading, but I may end up switching to another audio just to switch things up, or I might read like a physical novella. That might be my plan, is switching up formatting. So like manga, novella on audio, novella on physical, then switch to like another manga or graphic novel. We'll see what happens, but I just don't want to burn myself out too much by like reading too quickly, because I just want to enjoy the books that I'm reading, you know? So yeah, for now, that's my plan. Gotta get back to my own sprint. Then I'll probably be in the comments for Tori, and I am hoping, crossing my fingers, that I have enough energy to join Lexi. It's just that she starts, I think, at like 9 p.m. my time, and oh gosh, it's not that late, but when I join sprints, I feel like I'm there for the long haul. Like, I don't want to just join for 1 or 2. I'm there with you. And I don't know if I can dedicate myself to Lexi in that way, like for that many hours, but we'll see. Anyways, I'll get you guys another update as soon as I have more books that I finished. I was totally planning to provide another update yesterday, and then I just didn't. I went to bed at like 1 a.m. I ended my day with a manga, and I was like, they don't need to see me like this. So here we are. We have about like, I think like 8 or 9 hours left in the Readathon's mini readathon in the gala right now, and I have some updates. So to confirm, I did end up finishing Ice Guy and the Cool Girl, and you know what I ended up discovering is some of the meaning behind this title, because we have an extremely emotional main character here. He struggles to control his emotions because it impacts his abilities. He freezes the office if he's getting too excited or too down. And then we have the Cool Girl, who has been known her entire life for being cool because she's aloof, because she's nonchalant, because she doesn't show strong emotions, and I feel like they balance each other out. So this is a very cute series, and I definitely plan to continue. I have a few volumes out from the library, but obviously I just won't have time today to actually continue that specific series during this vlog. Then I ended up finishing Nighty Nightmare by Deborah and James Howe. This is the 4th book in the Bunnicula series, and it's just adorable. It's very cute. It's atmospheric horror for the middle grade audience, of course, and I think what makes it so unique and wholesome is that the narrator is the dog and I just think it's super sweet. And obviously we have Chester, his cat companion, who gets them into even deeper water, and you're getting to know even more pets along the way. And this one ended up bringing us back to the origin story, which was following Bunnicula in a unique way you didn't expect. So yeah, it was adorable. It was really lovely to get back with these characters. And then the manga I ended my night with, that ended up keeping me up until 1 a.m. was Cat Gamer 7. Oh my gosh, I just love the series so much. It's so wholesome, it's slice of life, and it's really relatable when it comes to work-life balance, as well as, you know, your cozy hobbies, relaxation, not having stress, and then also the responsibility of like taking care of pets and making sure that they're learning and growing and feel comfortable and having fun in their own lives. And it's just so sweet. Kozakura is our main character. She is the owner of these 2 cats. We have Masubi and then we have Sabaro, and they just have their own personalities, and you can see our main protagonist, Kozukura, learning from them, adapting her own life, while also adjusting it to make sure that her cats are happy and healthy. And it's just so cute. It's so sweet. In this one, one thing that altered things a little bit was that she started working remotely from home, and so the cats had to adjust to that new lifestyle. She had to adjust how she can remain focused and at work while having these cats nearby and other distractions, like her gaming desire, like the fact that she wants to game all the time. So anyway, I loved it. Of course I loved it. And there was some sleuthing going on, which I thought was adorable. And there are quite a few references to current games that are super popular right now. Like that one game that isn't as popular, but at one point you were seeing it everywhere across social media, where there's a team of like hunters and a team of like objects where you're on this compound and you're trying to hide from the people who would discover which object is actually a player. I don't remember what it's called because I never played it myself, but yeah, I really love seeing those trends in this manga as it's ongoing. And now for my plans today. To be honest, I'm super busy, and part of that is the fact that I'm lucky that I have manner sprints today with my sleuths. And so while we're in the sleuth lounge, obviously I'll be able to read, which is great, but I have a lot of other admin things I need to get done as well. I've got to get the Manor Gazette out today. I also have to finish this vlog and then immediately start editing it so that my patrons can get early access. I know it's like a really crazy turnaround, but here we are. That's the life of a booktuber sometimes. And so I'm trying to be realistic about what I hope to get done by the end of this vlog, by the last clip that I have to record. And so I'm halfway through Cat on the Hero's Lap, volume 4, and it's just amazing too. I know I'm obsessed with cats. I know. But with this one, I love how different it is from Cat Plus Gamer. It just shows you that cat manga can be so versatile. While this is slice of life, very much in the real world, we then have Cat in the Hero's Lap, which is inspired by like D&D, like role-playing games, because they're leveling up on their strength check, on their abilities. And I love that. Wisdom check, luck, defense. And you see not only the humans, the characters, but we're seeing their cats, Mr. Cat and Mr. Black Cat, also leveling up, and it's super adorable. At one point we just had this scene where they saved these two dwarves, and the dwarves were hurt, and in order to heal them, they start petting and rubbing Mr. Cat, so he starts purring and just being so content, and the sound of the purrs heals the two dwarves. Mr. Cat and Mr. Black Cat, we are getting flashbacks to their lives before they found this band of adventurers, and the adventurers took them in and are taking care of them, are now their home. And it's devastating to see like Mr. Black Cat as like a 6-month-old kitten and Mr. Cat as a 6-month-old kitten alone, and year by year just trying to survive. And then they finally find Red and Grace and Ayana, and it's just, yeah, it's really nice to see that they actually were meant to find these adventurers, and now they're a little family. So it's just adorable. But like I said, I'm only halfway. I'm working on it right now, so I should finish it before sprints with the sleuths. And then honestly, for the rest of the day, we'll see. I'm gonna cross my fingers if I can actually finish it before the gala ends, but I am gonna be rereading Murder at the Vicarage. I have to read this because tomorrow I am recording for She Done It Book Club, the podcast I work for. This was our month pick for April, and we just have to be a month ahead. It's a reread, so I'm not really too worried. I do have the audio, so I think this time around I'm going to immersively read it, which would be really lovely and just kind of switching things up for me. But this one actually follows the first case, the novel length case, I should say, of Miss Marple. I love it. Honestly, this is going to be my 3rd time reading it properly, and I'm really looking forward to returning to the mystery, the death of this horrible man, Colonel Prothero, that everybody hates, and he ends up being killed in the vicarage. So our narrator, the vicar himself, has to help with solving the crime, figure out what's going on, and little does he know at the time that it's Miss Marple who's going to end up solving this murder. And I just think it's really well done. It's very cozy and comforting, and just something that you can shut your brain off for. So yeah, I recommend it if you're someone who doesn't really know where to start with Miss Marple, or if you don't know where to start with the Agatha Christie canon. With that said, I have done a video. So if you're interested in hearing the 10 different ways you could start with Agatha Christie, I will have that linked somewhere on screen, or maybe at the end of this video. But either way, I'm gonna be rereading this and I cannot wait. And so there we are. I actually don't even know what number we're at right now. I think it's pretty low. Like, I think I've only finished, what, like 5 books? So all of you who are doing amazing this weekend, keep trucking, or I guess it's over. I don't know. Again, it's really weird to try to juggle how vlog time works, but I'm proud of you guys. Whatever team you're on, you're doing great. But for me, this was a really tough weekend to read too much, and I'm also worried about burnout. So that's why I think it's smart for me to just do these 2 things and then call it a day, or should we say call it a gala. Another Gala of Peace behind us. 48 hours of chaos of reading as many books as possible are done, and we have another 2 weeks of Readathon to go. So hopefully most of us didn't burn ourselves out. Hopefully I didn't burn myself out. I really could have read more, which I guess is saying something, because I did end up accomplishing my goal. 7 books. However, I did have to veer off course a few times on this final day. So let me update you what I've done so far. So I did end up finishing Cat on the Hero's Lap Volume 4. And you know what I didn't know until I finished the book? Is this was the last one. Oh my gosh. I ended up getting to the afterword from the author saying thanks for getting to the end of this series and just gushing about their appreciation. And I was like, wait a second, Kasuke, Ijima? Well, how is this done? How is this done? Well, at least I own them all. I have all 4 volumes, so I can easily reread this series. It's just so lovely, and it did have a beautiful ending for everyone, including the cats. So that was great. Just, not something that you're expecting. Usually you know when the end is near. I did not know until I reached the end, and that was a lot. But then, as I said, my plan was to move on to Murder at the Vicarage, but with juggling so many other tasks I had to get done today, I was hosting sprints in the Sleuth Lounge. We ended up going for like 6 hours, which was really lovely. It's a small crowd because it's my top tier patrons, and so we just were chatting, maybe got, I think, like 4 or 5 sprints in, which was really wonderful. But with that stopping and then doing other things like eating, trying to catch up with my buddy read for Green Teeth, there was just too much going on that I was like, there's no way I'm gonna read this in one day. Also, I ended up getting notified by my boss for the podcast that she needed to move our recording to Wednesday anyway. So of course I'm like, I can keep procrastinating. So I was like, okay, by the time that revelation came in, I had about 3 hours left. What was I gonna do? And so I just decided to read another graphic novel, and this one ended up being Black Water. This is by Jeanette Arroyo and Ren Graham. I really appreciate this. Honestly, it was an easy read. It was quick. It was spooky. There were some lovely discussions about feeling as though you're accepted within your community, because we've got these 2 characters who are struggling with their interpersonal relationships at home with their parents, but also trying to fit in at school, juggling everything in life. And then of course there are werewolves, which is not going to help with anyone's high school experience. And I really appreciate the representation. There's a lot of queer characters in here. There's a trans character in here. And the ending was really sweet. So it was fun, it was easy, and it was the last book that I was able to squeeze in for this readathon, this mini readathon within Readathon. So I ended up accomplishing 5, 6, 7 books because I can count. We ended a series with cats, started a series with cats, and we are continuing a series with cats. So I mean, that's the trifecta, I suppose. And then I really loved Rolling in the Deep. 5 stars, such a good prequel novella to Into the Drowning Deep that I now just want to dive back into that book. I'm also happy it's done. As fun as these 48-hour readathons are, whenever they're in a competitive atmosphere, it's just a lot. It's a lot to deal with, a lot of stress. And so I'm really excited to decompress with the coming week. Like, I'm not even hosting my public sprints on Tuesday because I'm like it's not happening. Oh, I also got book mail during this vlog, actually. This weekend, yesterday, I ended up getting this in the mail. It's a cozy mystery from Kensington, An Amateur Sleuth's Guide to Murder by Lynn Cahoon, and it looks really lovely, it looks really cute. We'll see if it ends up being up my alley. It's hit or miss when it comes to cozies, but I usually feel like I can trust Kensington for at least providing me with a nice, calming, slice of life type of read, as long as I'm in the mood for it. So thank you all so much for getting to the end. Thank you to my manor guests, both my sleuths who were with me all day today, but also my witnesses, my suspects, my corpses. I always want to say corpses before suspects. Maybe we should respect the dead and tell them thank you first, but alas, here we are. Anyways, thank you all so much. I really do appreciate you. And if you ended up reaching the very end of this vlog, then you earned the secret granted to me by Covers with Cassidy, our leader, our mayor of Carrion City. Is she the mayor? Well, I think she is. We're gonna call her the mayor. And she has provided this secret for us. The ravens have been attacked the least by the stags. Use that information however you'd like. I don't really know what we're supposed to do with it, but I guess thank you, stags? I don't know. But yeah, so I'll see you all in the next one. Good luck with Readathon, and I need to go to bed. Okay, bye everyone. Bye.